Hi, everybody. Welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and I will be tacoing about Jeremy Riker today. So, yeah. But before I get into that, I really have to say, hi! Welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and you know what? I'm excited for this guy. He's interesting. So yeah, we're talking about good old Jeremy Riker. Uh, Cue your Pearl Jam Jeremy jokes. Put them in the comments if you got them. Yeah. So this is what's going on. If you've never been here before, this is what I'm doing. Yeah, pause that. Go back to it. Read it. I'm not going to hold it up that long. I just want to go right into Jeremy Riker. So I was planning on covering a different character this week. I wanted to cover two wildlings. I'm covering a wildling later this week, and I was going to cover another one here. And the one who I had didn't really work out. There wasn't enough for it. So I was like, I went down my really long list, really long list, and I was like, let's find somebody from the wall. And I'm like, boom, Jeremy Riker. Moved him up. He got promoted. He's coming out. He was like going to come out next year, but now he's coming out now. So yeah, Jeremy Riker, let's do this. Jeremy Riker is a ranger from the Night's Watch and a knight from House Riker. Imagine that. According to Tyrion Lannister, when he visits the wall, Jeremy has a noble face. He is not known for his patience and has a mocking and scornful smile. Kind of like a jerk. Kind of sounds like a jerk. Like his smile's like, yeah, all right, cool. Like, oh, you're dumb. Like that kind of a smile. Not known for his patience. Not known for his patience. Sounds kind of like me. I got rage. I got anger issues. Am I joking? He is technically a show character. He is in one episode in season one. He has two scenes. One line is never named, so it barely counts. Yeah, so I think I wanted to cover Jeremy Riker before, and then I saw that he was in the show, and I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't. I went back and I watched that show, that episode, just one episode, and it was "You Live or You Die," or "You Win or You Die" from season one of the better episodes. That's the one that ends with Baelish, like, I warned you not to trust me. That episode, right? He says, all right, Rangers with me. That's his line. And then he goes out to where Jon Snow and Sam take their oath in front of the heart tree, and then they hug each other. That's it. Those two scenes. It's two scenes, one line. So I was like, and he's never named. It's I can cover Jeremy Riker. That's fine. Okay, cool. Sir House Riker. House Riker of Duskendale. Yeah, Duskendale House is a noble house from the Crownlands. Their sigil depicts two black hammers crossed with white saltire. I never know these flag sigil words on blue. Their seat is the castle of Dunfort in Duskendale. I do love this sigil. I think it looks really cool, actually. I love the hammers. House Riker received Duskendale following the defiance of Duskendale and the fall of House Darkland. Yeah. So, of course, the defiance of Duskendale happens. That's when House Darkland, kidnaps King Aerys II, the Mad King. So then after he kind of destroys all Darklands, right, you kind of needed somebody to take over Duskendale, and the Rikers were kind of there, and they were kind of like lick spittles. They were kind of butt kissers for the Mad King, so they kind of get it. Yeah. That's how they got Duskendale. During the feast that Aerys II threw when Cersei Lannister first came to court, Lord Owen Merryweather talked about raising taxes on wine, prompting Lord Riker to joke about Tywin Lannister shitting gold. Tywin mean mugged him until Lord Riker gave up and walked away. He makes a joke like, well, you just got a whole toilet full of gold right here, right, Tywin? And Tywin's like, until the dude's like, all right, fine. I'll leave. I'll just leave. It's like, yeah, get out of here. All right. The sacking of King's Landing. Jeremy remained loyal to Aerys II, the Mad King, during Robert's rebellion, due to the fact that they were already done for it, right? They kind of liked him. He fought on the battlements during the sack of King's Landing when the Lannister forces used deception to get into the city and destroyed it. Afterwards, he was given the choice by Lord Tywin Lannister between the wall or execution. Both Jeremy and Sir Alliser Thorne joined the Night's Watch. Yeah, Sir Alliser Thorne was friends with Jeremy at this time, and they were two people who were at the sack of King's Landing who was fighting on the side of the Targaryens that then bent the knee and took the watch. So yeah, instead of being, murdered, instead of taking the murder. Dinner at the Wall. So now we're really early on. So we meet Jeremy. He's kind of towards the beginning of the story, opposed to like other characters, right? Like, Richard Horp, we don't meet until the last book or the last two books, and he's just all Dance of Dragons stuff. This is all Game of Thrones and maybe a little bit in the. No, I don't even think we go into. We don't even get into Clash. Yeah, this is a Game of Thrones book or a character. Yeah, this is right when Tyrion travels to the Wall with Jon Snow, so I could piss off the end of the world or whatever he says, right? So he's having dinner and they're eating crabs or whatever, and yeah, he has a conversation with Jeremy. Sir Jeremy is present when Tyrion has dinner at Castle Black with Jorah Mormont, the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and other senior officers. And offended Sir Alliser Thorne claims that Tyrion mocks the Watch, but Tyrion counters that he's only mocking Sir Alliser. No, I'm not mocking the Watch. I'm just mocking you. A fight ensues, Tyrion coming at Alliser with a fork. A roar of laughter rises from the other officers, and Sir Alliser leaves in disgust. After claiming Allister's meal as his spoils of victory, I just love that. Like, all right, fine. If he's going to leave, I'm going to eat his meal. Spoils of war. It's pretty funny. Where was that? Tyrion comments that a man like Sir Alliser should be mucking out the stable, not drilling the recruits. Mormont takes the opportunity to complain about the quality of his men. Sir Alliser is one of the few living knights that have taken the black. Sir Jeremy goes on to explain that both him and Thorne fought for the, King Aerys II during the sack of King's Landing, and they were forced to take the black or be executed. So he's like, dude, Alliser, he's a traitor. And Jeremy Rikker's like, well, then I'm a traitor. And we're all traitors here. Like, this is a watch, bro. Like, we don't come up here for the scenery. And then, kind of just, it puts that in perspective for Tyrion. I really like that. So, Benjen goes missing. Jorah Mormont, Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, sends Benjen with 6 rangers to find Sir Waymar Royce, who has not returned from the Raging Beyond the Wall. Benjen thinks that they might have to go. Oh my God. Benjen thinks they might have to search as far as the Shadow Tower. When there is no word from Benjen, so he leaves, Jeremy Riker leads 2 sweeps in search of him, while Corn Halfhand leads 1 search party going north from the Shadow Tower. Nothing is found except for a few blazes in the trees that Benjen has used to mark his way. So you kind of carve stuff on the trees, I'm assuming. The marks stop at Stony Highlands to the northwest, and all traces of Benjen vanish. So yeah, so Jeremy goes out there kind of looking for Benjen after Benjen goes out looking for Waymar Royce, right? And he doesn't find anything. So First Ranger. Jeremy serves as First Ranger in the absence of Benjen. He is present during the swearing-in ceremony of the new members of the Night's Watch at the Sept of Castle Black. And again, when Jon Snow, Samwell Tarly, and others swear at the Weirwood Grove behind the wall. This is the scene that he's in the show where they go out to take their words at the Weirwood tree. So yeah, so straight out of the book there. After the ceremony, the bodies of 2 rangers are found by Ghost. Yeah, Ghost walks up with a hand in his mouth. It's nuts. Jeremy identifies them as Othor and Jaffer Flowers, who both belonged to Benjen's party. Lord Commander Mormont is displeased that Benjen has not been found and the Rangers have died close to the wall. But Jeremy explains that the lack of Rangers and the Lord Commander had ordered closer patrols. When they return to Castle Black, Jorah conveys an order to Jeremy through Jon Snow to put the dead men into the storeroom until Maester Aemon is ready to examine them. So they take the bodies back that like Ghost kind of finds, right? They find these 2 dead bodies while they're out swearing their oath, and they take them back to the wall. And then they're like, all right, put them in the storeroom. So they're not going to burn them or they're not going to bury them yet. And of course, we all know what happens. So the dead arises. The night after the ceremony, Jon wakes to ghosts scratching at the door. It is very cold. When he opens the door, Jon finds his door guard dead, and he hears the noises coming from Lord Commander's chamber. Jon goes to Jorah's chamber, where he sees a shadow of a man in black with icy blue eyes going into the Lord Commander's sleeping chamber. Ghost and Jon attack the dead man, who identifies as Othor, so it's one of the ones they brought back from the Weirwood Grove. Jon burns the white with the help of a naked Jeor Mormont. Yeah, George shows up nude, and he's like, what's going on? He's like, give me that lamp. And he's like, all right. Just sitting there with his wedding tackles out. Yeah, so he uses Jeor Mormont's oil lamp and some helpful suggestions from the large raven, though Jon's hand is badly injured, but they do kill the white. Yeah, so if you guys don't know what's going on, the raven does kind of tell him what to do, because the raven most likely is Blood Raven being warped, but he's like, fire, burn him, don't stab him, come on, Jon Snow, you got this. He doesn't quite say that, but it's kind of like that. The body of Jaffer Flowers arises as a white as well that night and kills 5 people, including Jeremy. Yep, the guy we're talking about, he's already dead. Okay, so that night, the knight manages to hack. So Jeremy manages to hack off the white's already loose head off with his sword, but is killed nevertheless when the headless white pulls his dagger from its sheath and thrusts him into Jeremy's bowels. So he cuts the white's head off, and then he grabs him and still stabs him as his head's off, which is nuts. So there we go. Jeremy dies. We made it. We're already there. I still got 2 more slides. So one is kind of just like all the times he's talked about, and he's brought up actually quite a lot later on in the books. And I actually took a couple of my words, just like during this scene, somebody says his name. All right. I mean, the ones I kept aren't too much more than that, but Thorin Smallwood states that he is first ranger when Benjen is lost and Jeremy is killed, a claim rejected by Jorah Mormont. Thorin receives Jeremy's clothing and armor, right down to the House Riker emblem and the Sable cloak, which we'll get to, used as a clasp on Jeremy's cloak, as the Night's Watch does not waste things. So the new dude, Thorin Smallwood, like, all right, I'm going to be first ranger, so I'm going to use first ranger armor. He just straight up uses Jeremy Riker stuff, including the sigil for House Riker, which is kind of weird. You'd think that the Smallwood would have his own, but Alistair Thorne mentions in front of the Iron Throne that Jeremy has been killed by a white when he appeals to the crowd to provide more men for the Night's Watch, causing people to snigger, and Jeremy Lannister to mock Alistair. Not Jamie, sorry. Tyrion Lannister and mock Alistair. Yeah, so if you guys don't know, in the show they don't do it, but I don't think they do. But Alistair Thorne travels all the way down the King's Landing with a living hand, but the hand kind of just falls apart by the time he gets there. So it makes it useless. So he does go and he tries to get Tyrion to send them more men. And Tyrion's like, you're going to have what's in the dungeon. But Tyrion, foolishly or non-foolishly, doesn't want to help the Watch. But remember, Alistair was a jerk to Tyrion, and Tyrion was a jerk to Alistair. So sending down, I don't know why Jorah would have sent down somebody who he knows had a fight with the Hand. Maybe he didn't know that Tyrion was a Hand, but either way, I could think of a lot better envoys than Alistair Thorne. And also, Tyrion is kind of just a jerk to a lot of people, so he's not really the best at that. I know people love Tyrion, like when it comes to how he is political wise, how he's as a politico, his politicking. I think it's not as good as people to say, because he tends to mock people, and then later on when he needs their help, like at the trial, everyone's like, he's been a jerk. And he's like, "Hey, I saved you people." And you mocked everyone in this room, Tyrion, including Alistair. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. When Mance Rayder questions Jon Snow at the Fist of the First Men, uh, about the Fist of the First Men, I think, he asks him who had. Oh no, because they go to the Fist of the First Men after people ran. He asks him who had been in command there, suggesting among others that it might have been Jeremy. After some hesitation, Jon admits that the raging was led by Mormont himself. Whoa. All right. That's the whole story. That was the last time he was brought up. So, Jeremy Riker, I do got a crazy, weird tinfoil theory, so don't go anywhere, but that's the end of his story. Okay, so here it is. Sable cloaks and tinfoil hats. So looking up theories involving Jeremy, I stumbled on some cool tinfoil on Reddit by a post from, or in a post from Holloway Division, who I think I've covered before. I'm pretty sure I have. I'm pretty sure I've gotten to their Reddits before. All right. Divids, yeah, sure. They called it the Sable Cloak Society theory. In summary, he links, or they, I guess, I don't know, characters that wear sable cloaks with a society of ancient warg hunters. I freaking love it. I'm not doing it justice here. For real, I'm not. Go find it. Just type in Sable Cloak or even Jeremy Riker theories. You'll find it. Go check it out if you want to actually see the whole thing. I'm just giving you the clip notes of it. All right. So, yeah. Yeah, so please go read it if you're interested. So characters with sable cloaks involve Ramsay Bolton, Barbary Dustin, Waymar Royce, Baelor Blacktide, and Euron Greyjoy, and of course Jeremy Riker are all said to have worn sable cloaks. And oddly, we follow Jeremy's cloak as Thorin Smallwood wears it. Like it kind of gets brought up, like we're supposed to think about the cloak again. This post suggests a link between Bolton's love for killing Starks and the cloaks, proposing that there is an ancient society of warg hunters with members from all over the Seven Kingdoms. It's crazy tinfoil, but it's fun. I mean, I don't believe it, but I kind of love it. Like, because they even bring up like how a lot of those houses are like first men houses, and a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them kind of have like a hunter thing, and there's like the hunter tapestries with Royce's, and then of course Bolton skin wargs. It's fun, but I don't believe it. But it was like I didn't expect to, like, as I'm looking up Jeremy Riker theories, to stumble on like, so there's a crazy warg hunting society out there. Like, oh, here we go. There you guys go. That's the whole video for Jeremy Riker. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. I have a lot of videos. I've been doing this for more than a year now. You can go check out all the other ones. And of course, I got one coming out this Saturday. So yeah, thank you for watching. And don't get murdered by a zombie. It's good advice. Peace.